Hello and welcome back to Warsword Conquest, and SLYTHE is back. Oh yes, SLYTHE is back. Don't worry, he never went away. Oh yes, he never went away. Anyway, we're back here. We're attempting to attack the vampires and the Empire at the same time. It's a bit difficult, let's just say that. I did manage to, just now, take one of the castles that we were working on in the previous episode. They only had 60 or so troops there, but... And now here's the big issue. The the ladder, it actually doesn't let me go up into the battlements. So I had to use my ranged weapon to be able to achieve victory there, which was hilarious. It was quite a funny experience, nevertheless. Anyway, yeah, this is SLYTHE, obviously. If you haven't seen the SLYTHE series, and this is your first video seeing him, then you probably want to check it out. It was a massive rise to power for him, because initially, he had some pretty big issues. And shall we say, I'm just going to be a little bit more clear on that. I had some pretty big issues actually getting used to, playing Warsword Conquest again, because obviously, I hadn't played it for many years, and they had changed so much stuff that it is absolutely incredible. It's really, really incredible to see all those changes, obviously, initially, and it still is. And, yeah, as you can tell, we are even having some slight problems up against a vassal that only has 38 troops. Bit weird. Now, this guy, I actually didn't attack this fellow. He attacked me. And I feel like that's kind of weird as well, but, there's nothing much I can do about that, because if he wants to attack me, he wants to attack me. But the reason why he attacked me is because he has two friends of his nearby. And they are very much wanting to attack us, of course. But thankfully... they didn't. They managed not to bring them as well. They didn't join the battle alongside him. So we just got him by himself, and he is now kicking himself all the way to my prison. So that's wonderful. Not going to be taking dwarves, of course. Okay, so yeah, I'm not going to be taking any loot either. So yeah, just to catch you up a little bit on what I was doing. All right, so. Well, there was actually quite a lot to do maintenance-wise, so I basically just did all of that, and I'll just run you through it real fast. I had a huge amount of prisoners, so I sold those, around 4,000 to 5,000. I spent the 5,000 at Altdorf, getting an enterprise, because Altdorf is it's pretty good. It seems it has a lot of people in the garrison there, shouldn't be taken too easily. And even if it does, it doesn't really matter too much. But I basically built a wine press, I think, there for about 5,000. So there you go, that's wonderful. Then I went over to Curon because we actually had a war academy being built, and it was done. It literally was 1 day away to be done. And now it's done, so now it's going to start accumulating very powerful troops, or at least I hope so. And after that, we're going to be going over there and seeing what we can do, taking those guys out. And aha, yes, this is what I was notified as well of. They basically decided, and I'm talking about the Skaven, of course, they decided that they were going to go in against the vampires at Talabheim. And I'm not entirely sure if they're going to achieve victory here. I mean, it feels to me like they're going to be absolutely fine, because literally, look at how many troops they have. They have 1,800. There is maybe no possible way for the vampires to win this unless I were to go in to a manual battle. I don't know how it works in auto-resolves and in regards to magic, because in magical terms, they would probably absolutely destroy anything that they come across. The vampires are just so strong when it comes to magical capability, because they could just continue summoning people. They can continue murdering enemy troops really, really easily with their AoE spells and all that wonderful stuff. However, when it's an auto-resolve, I don't think those things are taken into account. I don't know. I don't think so, but you never know. Anyway, as you can see, the vampire counts did manage to take the castle that I just took, which I gotta say is kind of irritating, but that doesn't matter because the Skaven just took Talabheim from them, which is obviously fantastic, because that means we are now in a situation where we've just swapped a relatively, well, I'm not going to say useless, but I'd say relatively invaluable. Yeah. Okay, no, that's also not the right word to use. Let's see. What is the best one to use here? I'm thinking probably something like, useless. Yes, there we go. That's a good word. Okay, so... yeah. Anyway, the point is, because we swapped that, we now have a very valuable castle in comparison to having a very valuable town, shall we say. Ugh. See, look at me trying to concentrate on fighting and talking at the same time. Oh, it's so terrible, isn't it? Yes, my brain can't handle it, apparently. Anyway, the point is, we've now swapped something valuable for something not so valuable. That's basically what I wanted to say. Great. Yeah, anyway, there we go. We are now obviously able to draw these guys out of the garrison, which is obviously perfect, because these fellows, they need range. They need range to be able to do this. They need to be able to, you know, defend themselves from range. And it's actually funny, because we are also in the same boat. We are another faction that very much needs to stay at range to deal damage. But the Empire, in this situation, is forced into a sally out because of our army composition. As I said to you in previous episodes, this army composition, I think, is probably one of the strongest that you can get. Just purely because it is just so simple to make it work. I'm going to just shoot my my gun all the way into the enemies here. Gonna block for once. I never usually block anymore, by the way. Have you noticed how I never usually block with SLYTHE anymore? Because he has so much ward save and so much ignore pain and everything. Obviously, to be fair, he doesn't even have advanced ignore pain, and that would definitely make him do insane damage. I mean, you know, just because he's able to stay in there so much more. Because what is it? I think 6% damage reduction instead of 4% damage reduction per point of Iron Flesh if you have advanced ignore pain. So that's obviously really, really effective. But look at these guys. They're literally just falling before us right now. They do not have any way of defending against us. And look at this. We have literally just done that. Now, I'm not entirely sure. Are the dwarves at war against us? I'm actually not sure. Let me take a look. They are currently at war with the Skaven. Alright, there you go. You're not going anywhere, friend. Okay, there you are. That's pretty easy, isn't it? Okay, so we're going to capture some enemies here. We're not going to be rescuing any of these fellows. I might take some of the Chaos Zealots, because I can trade those at a Cult Master. That might be kind of fun. Who knows? Maybe we'll get something really, really good for it. Yeah, also Runic Blunderbuss. This is the Runic Blunderbuss right here. And this is obviously very, very strong. I'm not entirely sure if I like this in comparison to the Dwarven Shotgun, but the Runic Blunderbuss is very good when it comes to its penetration. It does a lot of damage as well, but I'm not, I don't know. I don't know whether I like it in comparison to the Dwarven Shotgun. I feel like the Dwarven Shotgun has been extremely effective in the past, but if you shoot this, if you shoot the Blunderbuss that we have right now in a straight line, and you have a load of, I'm not going to claim this by the way, and you have a load of enemies all lined up in a row, well, let's just say that there is huge devastation to be wrought from that, and it's amazing. It's really, really good. So the fact that we can basically make that work almost all the time, it's a huge testament to that. I'm actually going to be continuing to increase. I want... What's actually going on with Nagrat right here? What is actually going on with this guy? What is he good at? What does he have? Oh yeah, he has a gun. Oh, he has a gun. See, now that's exactly my point. If he has a gun, I should have leveled up his agility, but he, for some reason, has a bunch of strength. I don't know why. But yeah, anyway, we'll go for some more surgery and some more first aid here for Oggy Boggy. Finally, he leveled up. He has 184 in firearms. He has a Chaos Dwarf Carbine. He's actually doing a relatively good job. Yeah, he, by the way, does have a staff. I did purchase this for him. Or did I... No, I didn't purchase this for him. I got this from a dungeon, I think. I don't know. I can't remember, but whatever the case, he has a staff, so don't worry about that. Otherwise, we're going to go for veteran black rats, of course, and I was actually thinking that maybe what I would do is just try to crush the Empire in this particular episode. I don't know how well that's going to go, but the Empire has not been showing particular strength in recent times, and so it's making a lot of sense for us to just try and eliminate them super fast, because there's no point in them actually sticking around, in my opinion, you know. It would be a good idea for us to eliminate them, at least. Anyway, let me see. Can I actually... Ooh, yeah, no, I could actually use this warhorse. That's pretty funny. I still need to find a dwarf, by the way. Just to, you know, talk to the... talk about the treasure map. So if I do see a dwarf, then obviously we're gonna try and do that. I just consistently forget. That's it. You know... If I do see a dwarf, though, I'll definitely remember from now, but beforehand I wasn't really remembering or focusing on doing that. So yeah, anyway, let's go in. Let's go in and actually see what we can do at the last surviving Empire town. As you can see, this literally is their last town. So I'm very much hoping that we're going to be able to do something really, really dramatic here. And they're obviously going to be sallying out. But the main problem with this, for us... Okay, wait a minute. Let me actually just get these guys over here. Let's just tell these guys to charge in. Okay, so, Runic Blunderbuss. Away! Okay, how much damage did that do? Doesn't seem to have really done that much. I mean, it's obviously killing loads of enemies, which is, of course, what we want. But it does have a pretty long reload. So that's obviously an issue. But, you know... If it can kill, I don't know, 10 enemies in one shot, then I'm pretty happy with that, but I don't think I was able to do that. My placement was probably not particularly effective. That's a thing that needs to be worked on a little bit in the future, but it is a nice weapon. It does hit from very far distance away as well. So now this is also the reason why, by the way, I had been starting to level up a couple of infantry-based troops. Because if I level up some infantry-based troops, I have the ability to delay the opponent just enough in these sally-outs to make it so that they just can't do anything because they get stopped. You know, they just get completely stopped by my infantry, and they can't do anything against our ranged troops, and that's it. It's a really, really nice system. And I'm hopeful... Let's see... Go. Yeah, there we go. All right. I'm just trying to get the most value out of it, basically, because I'm only going to get one shot before we're kind of forced into a melee range here. Nice, nice. This sword is amazing, by the way. If you can get this sword from a legendary drop, from a dungeon, or from a merchant, you know, from one of the special merchants, then I'd highly recommend it. It has a lot of really, really good things about it, because, let's face it, it's doing increased damage pretty much every single time you swing. Because as far as I'm aware, if I'm right according to the calculation, it does either 33% more damage, 66% more damage, or 100% more damage. Is that right? I don't know. I need to read the I need to read the description again, but it's a pretty good weapon. Let's just say that. I like it. I think it's doing a really, really good job for us. Let's actually just move these guys over here. I'm just going to tell the infantry just to charge. Why not? There we go. I'm actually going to try to reload this time around. Maybe I'll be lucky and actually reload before we get interrupted or anything like that. I mean, look at the amount of damage that's currently being dealt here. Super, super nice. Oh, there we go. That was a nice shot, I think. I think that was a nice shot, at least. Now, if I can just also lay in some punishment to these ranged troops that the Empire has, then it's going to be even easier for us, because that's the funny thing, as I said to you, the Empire is all about their ranged troops and all about their warrior priests and their Blazing Sun Knights. But if you can prevent them from getting off any shots in regards to their guns, you're going to have a great time. It's going to be so simple for you. Although, to be fair, their Demigryph Knights are also very strong. But as you can tell, things are going really, really nicely for us here. They're just sallying out, but I have a specific composition that basically makes it that I can just, you know, win these sally outs with very minimal issues. Because, and this is the funny thing, if you think about it, think about how we would do this if we were playing Wood Elves, for example. Because obviously I'm trying to think of another faction that uses ranged troops on a grand scale. What else? What else uses ranged troops on a grand scale? Do Dark Elves use their hand crossbows a huge amount or something like that? I don't know. But all I'm saying is, if there is another faction that uses ranged troops predominantly, and they have a higher damage per second or a higher firing rate than our gunners, it's going to be very difficult actually to do these sally outs if there is still that ammo penalty. Maybe there isn't an ammo penalty. I don't know. I didn't actually notice. But whatever the case, there we go. I'm actually going to be taking this guy prisoner as well. Let's have a look-see here. We got some Chaos Zealots right here, so we can obviously trade those with the Cult Master. Hopefully we'll be able to do that. And look at how easy that was. Look at how simple. That was really, really nice. And we've now just basically taken this town. I'm not going to be claiming it for myself. I don't see the necessity for that. And I'm just going to be moving on. Let's go into the tavern here. Maybe there's a dwarf. There is Joseph, but I think he's a companion. I know he's a companion, but the problem is I don't think he's going to speak to us in regards to the treasure map. I don't think that's going to happen. So yeah, there's obviously that. Anyway, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's it. They've got 5 fiefs remaining. Look at that. That's crazy. Okay, so I guess, you know what? I'm just going to continue going on here. I am going to reject this. They literally are only offering 3,900 for Mr. Marius himself. I mean, come on now. I think that's a little bit of a low offer, to be honest. Oh dear. Dwarves. Yes, I'm not a big fan of fighting dwarves, actually, hilariously enough. It's quite funny because, personally, for me, I feel like we have an extremely strong, well, character here. I'm not sure if we have an extremely strong army. That's the main problem. Our army is, I think, quite powerful right now, but the main issue is that dwarves are very hardy. They're extremely difficult to kill, especially if they have a bunch of rune lords or, you know, giant slayers or anything like that. Those guys are going to take a lot of punishment before you're able to take them out. And that is indeed the issue, because, again, Skaven, what are they good at? Well, they're good at ranged characters, right? Ranged combat, and they're good at killing things from far away. So that's the main problem with fighting the dwarves, because the dwarves are fast. They're going to move very quickly towards you, and in the meantime, you know, all of your Skaven units are going to be like, oh no, the dwarves are almost upon us, and then they're going to, yes, just get absolutely murdered in melee. So that's a thing that can be very much prevalent when going into a battle with the dwarves. But anyway, let's have a look here. Okay, now there's the Emperor himself. That's under siege right now. We could go and take that, but I really want to take one of these, but I'm not sure about the dwarves. Are they actually still doing stuff? Yeah, they are still around here. I was kind of hoping that they'd move on. See, now this would be a perfect place to go. However, and now this is a funny thing. I'm not sure whether the presence of vassals actually makes it so that the garrison doesn't sally out. I'm not sure whether they do that or not, because the discipline that they show, you know, because obviously I don't know whether you know this. This is a I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe you know it, maybe you don't. Anyway, there's a small intricacy to how battles work when a vassal is involved, when you know, compared to when a vassal isn't involved. You've probably seen this in regards to us fighting a caravan, or us fighting bandits, or whatever. Because that's the thing. When you have a vassal in the battle, they're going to use formations. They're going to be a lot more disciplined. But when they don't do those. They don't do those things. Ah, never mind. Okay, so it does actually mean that they are going to sally out. This is very interesting, because for me personally, I feel like it would have made much more sense for them to literally just do whatever, you know, just literally stay in the castle. It literally would have made them probably achieve victory dramatically But as it stands, they are having a bad time. That is for sure. I'm going to try to kill these guys because these guys are really high value targets. That's the thing. Generally, if I see anyone with super fancy armor, I'm just going to be like, yes, I need to kill that guy. You know, because if he's running around, we're going to have some issues. You know, we're going to have some issues. But this is also another thing where, you know, it's one of those situations where you just kind of go, you know what? I need to make sure that my forces just do not get into melee. Because that's the funny thing. If the Empire had massive amounts more like warrior priests and things like that, like for example, if you looked at the dwarf composition that we saw earlier, the one with 230 in his army, if you looked at his composition, you know, how briefly it was on the screen, that is, because maybe you're not going to see that. But if you looked at that, he had 30 giant slayers. And let's just say that I don't really want to fight 30 giant slayers on the field of battle, even if I have a bunch of ranged troops. Because we do technically, and this is a, you know, this is a good shot, you know, we have a good shot of doing this. We do technically have a lot of ranged troops that can possibly kill the opponent before they even reach us. However, because giant slayers are so fast, it is a little bit less likely for that to be the case, you know, because they're just going to move so quickly. They're going to be very difficult to stop, and that's the main concern. Whereas, as you see from, you know, from the Empire here, they basically don't have that many warrior priests. If they did, they would be a very dangerous faction indeed. You know, if they had a similar amount of, you know, giant slayer, well, you know, the giant slayer to warrior priest ratio. If they had that, they would be exceptionally dangerous indeed. They would be very, very lethal. I mean, you can see here that I am actually taking pretty big damage, surprisingly enough. I don't know why. I guess I just got hit by that warrior priest once, and a couple of other people, actually, at the same time. But, yeah, I mean, all of that adds up, of course. But, in general, I feel like the warrior priest unit, there needs to be a higher population of those in the Empire. Otherwise, they're just going to get absolutely cannibalized by every single other faction. At least that's what it seems like to me. I don't know whether that's actually the case, because I have very rarely played a significant amount of Warsword Conquest. I mean, that's not from lack of wanting to, by the way. Not from lack of wanting to, just because there are so many really interesting classes and factions to play as, that I just go, you know what, I want to play this, I want to play that, I want to play this, and so on and so forth. You know, I just jump around a little bit. So I apologize for that if that's annoying, but I feel like it's just too much of a waste to concentrate on one character alone, because it is so fun to play this mod. It really is. It is absolutely so much fun, because they've just done such a good job. They have done every single thing, in my opinion, to maximize player choice and the satisfaction of the player as well. Because just think about it. You start off, you have nothing. You have none of these really, really cool enhancements. You have no ward save, no mighty blow, no dodge, no legendary weapons, or anything like that. But then very quickly you realize, you know what? Wait a minute. I could do a dungeon. I might be able to even win the dungeon, if I'm lucky, you know, and then you get to the end of that dungeon, and there's a legendary weapon in the chest, and you just go, oh my, and then you're just so excited, and it's like, yeah, super fun, right? Super fun. Anyway, we'll just take this guy, 7 Chaos Zealots. Yeah, I really need to find that Cult Master, don't I? Yes, I'm very much hoping that there is going to be one relatively nearby. Okay, so we're just going to leave this alone here. I might actually go here and see if there is a Cult Master now. It's been a little bit of time at least. No, oh, there's a ransom broker. Okay, oh, okay, haha. Okay, so there you go, 3,500. That is a pretty nice amount, actually. If I were to sell it to the Tavern Keeper, I'd get 1,700 or something, so that's actually not bad. Okay, so what else do we have available here? I have way too many potions of toughness, by the way. I think that is... Yeah, I'm going to have to do something about that. I'm going to have to get rid of some of those, but yeah. Otherwise, aha, hello, wait a minute. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Alright, so yeah, we've got a bunch of Empire vassals coming in here. I'm not entirely sure I think I should probably be able to achieve victory against them, but I don't really... I'm not sure if it's necessary for me to stay here. That's the question, because if I stay here and I do the defense, well, obviously I'm probably going to be... I don't know, maybe I'll be able to defend successfully because we just have so many ranged troops. But the possibility of potentially losing, I don't know, maybe there, you know, I don't know, maybe that's a thing that could maybe happen. It's true, you know, there is that possibility. I'm gonna just go for another point in agility here. This is another one of our rats that's using a gun, of course, and yeah, that's the point. Otherwise, apart from that, obviously I could just go over to Bergenholt right now and literally just go and take that. That would probably be really, really easy in comparison. 267, 492. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Okay. Well, apparently the blunderbuss is actually slightly a shotgun, because it does seem to fire pellets. I wasn't actually aware of that, amusingly enough. Okay, let's just continue to fire a little bit out the window here. And I mean, you can see here that I mean, look at the amount of damage we were able to do. Pretty significant. And this is actually just going to continue here as well. I really, you know what? This is poor positioning on my part. I need to go over here. There we go. This is much better. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there we go. That's the kind of damage we like to see. Okay. Can we get a little bit more of that, please? Okay. There we go. There we are. Nice. I'm not entirely sure why we have dwarves in here. Oh, it's probably because of the rescued prisoners, isn't it? Yeah, it's because of the rescued prisoners. Okay, I understand. Okay, what else do we have here? Boom. Alright, and yeah, how many have we even killed right now already? We've already killed 100. Yeah, it's highly unlikely that they're going to be sticking around here for much longer. I really need to switch to my two-handed, actually, because these guys are getting a little bit too much freedom, in my opinion. Do not want them to get onto the battlements. Wow, and I've literally not even done anything. I've done 0 damage with my melee weapon, so I guess I'll just switch back. There is no real necessity for that, I guess. Okay. That's interesting, isn't it? As soon as I'm like, oh yes, I will switch to this, and then they're like, no, you don't. No, you don't need to. Yeah, I'm just gonna block that guy, thank you. Take him down, and these really? Yeah, these guys have no idea. This must be an absolute nightmare. For me, if I was on their side right now, I would just go, you know what? Tab. I'm just gonna tab, straight up. This is just too annoying to deal with. I mean, literally, a Doombull and an Ogre and a Skaven with a bunch of wood save and crazy weaponry and all these gunners and everything. I mean, literally, come on now. That has to be one of the most annoying compositions to fight against. Although, to be fair, we have the dwarves in the game, so there's also that. Demigryph Knights are super, super dangerous as well. At least I feel like they are quite dangerous. They seem to do a lot of damage, at least. Don't find enough of them, though. That's the point. There's not that many of them in the various compositions that the enemy has. Because I see very few of them. Basically, I mean, they are one of the most powerful units that the Empire has, so I would assume that they're going to have a lot less than, you know, the standard kind of unit. But it is still one of those units that you just never really see. So, you know, it's kind of a bit sad for them, to be honest. Oh, hello, I fell off. Okay, well, I did not mean to do that. Oh, well. Guess I'm just going to fight here, then. I'm going to get shot, most likely. Shot and killed. But I guess that's not too bad. As long as I can just do this, we should be absolutely fine. Because they don't seem to be swarming me right now, which is obviously the main concern whenever you have this kind of situation. And as long as I don't get shot for, you know, 20 damage or something like that, I should be okay. This guy's shooting me, but he just has a crossbow, so that's absolutely fine. And I should probably switch to my blunderbuss, actually. And you know what I should probably do? I should probably heal myself. There you go. Just gonna heal myself. I have a healing potion. I might as well use it. Even though, personally for me, I shouldn't have needed to use it, but I actually would have been eliminated now because I'm getting shot by something. What am I being shot by? Because they don't have a gunner, I don't think. There's no gunner around here. Is there? Don't think so. Well, maybe there is. Ah, there's a flagellation fellow. No, let's get out of there. Thank you. Yeah, what? This guy? This guy? What? That is hilarious. He was literally like, yeah, I'm going to get right in your face with my gun equipped. What was going on with that? That was a bit weird. Okay, yeah, so we are having a slight issue now. Because what I actually wanted to do was try to clear out the enemy and then go back in. But unfortunately, that is not working out too well for me right now. Okay, I'm just going to heal myself once again. Because apparently that's what I'm doing. Apparently that's what I'm doing. Yeah, but this is the reason why the warrior priests are so incredibly powerful. Look at how much damage they were capable of doing to me right here. Look at this damage. It's absolute insanity. I mean, I can still kill them in one hit because I don't think they have ward save. At least I don't think so. But yeah, they are obviously very, very dangerous. I am going to die here, unfortunately. I felt like I would... Look at that. The warrior priests. They're really good. And that's the funny thing. Even if you try to block against them, it's not actually going to do anything. Because if you block against them, they're just going to crush through that most of the time. And as you can see, they are basically done. There is nothing they can do. They only had around 500 troops, if I recall correctly. So they're really not going to be able to do anything at all. This is also another one of those things that I actually want to point out about the Skaven, or indeed any faction that has a lot of high damaging, slow firing units. They are very dangerous no matter what, because at this point, I mean, yeah, sure, if you get into melee with them, they're basically useless, but if you're in this situation right here and you have to walk along here, look at this. This is what the Empire has to face. They literally have to go straight through here. All these gunners are going to be firing at the same time. Boom, boom, boom. They're all going to get shot at the same time. It's just going to be extremely powerful in terms of their defense. And there you go. We were able to actually achieve victory against them, and we can now take every single one of these prisoner, or well, most of them prisoner at the very least, and we can now hire, or shall we say rescue, a couple of wonderful Skaven troops. There we are. Very nice. And we also have, ooh, nice, look at that, a Demigryph Knight. And a bunch of others. I'm very much hoping that we're going to be able to, I think I can take all of these, yeah, because we do have some prisoner management with SLYTHE. So that's wonderful. Let's take some of this. Even though I'm actually losing money for some reason, I am gaining money every single week, which is a little bit weird, but I guess that's just how it goes. There is no potion seller here, unfortunately, so we're going to have to look for that somewhere else. I'm going to sell some of these potions of toughness. I personally feel like I'm not really using them that often to justify actually keeping them in my inventory. I'd rather purchase other things like food and or healing potions and stuff like that. Anyway, we were able to absolutely crush the enemy Empire forces, and they only have 4. They only have 4 fiefs remaining, and it's going to be super, super simple for us to try and capture those as well. And apart from that, obviously the vampires are having some issues as well, because our own forces are attempting to take Averheim back. Mr. Plague Lord Skrolk is over there, and he's doing a wonderful job as well, actually leading our forces in a campaign. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.